difficult last 2 innings of a game. I don't want this to tarnish how I felt about what they did in the regular season, but it's tough to walk out of there today with that feeling. The lack of details for finishing that game are painful lessons. And we beat a really good team. That's a good team, and they had been playing great baseball. To win the series is an accomplishment by itself. To not win the 2-inning game at the end when you had multiple opportunities to is the opposite of that. And those are just very difficult pills to swallow, and we're going to swallow it. We did not handle the details of some of the pitch execution. We had some chances with ABs that we did not really execute some of the things we needed to at the plate to make sure we're putting things in play. And all of that adds up in a 2-inning game to what you saw. They're a good team, and their center fielder plays a beautiful game, and he's as talented a freshman as you'll see. And he took advantage. He made a really nice throw to the plate, and clearly the home run was a big moment for them. The hit by pitch, when you hit the 9-hole guy in the foot, you're asking for some difficulties, but they still had to capitalize, and they did that.
Is the play there probably to go to second on the comeback?
You could really do anything you want with it. You just have to maintain your feet and your poise, knowing you have outs all over the place. I still think that would have been fine. You just have to gather yourself and kind of maintain a little bit of athleticism, knowing you have so much time. When you rush it and things get away from you, you lose your balance, and that's what can happen. It's unfortunate because we're really in a position there that when that ball's hit, you're like, we're in pretty good shape. But you have to execute it, and the details of that, and the game clock, and the timing, and the rhythm of how much time you have when a ball's back at you in less than a second. It's just a difficult lesson.
What kind of approach do you take when you've had a 21-hour delay and you've only got 2.5 innings left? Just what is the mindset, I guess, going into that type of setting?
Completely set up what you want to do with the bullpen, and how if it goes right, what is plan A, and if it doesn't go right, immediately what is plan B. And we had all that, and it got us to where we were. We just didn't complete the task. We were gonna try to, if Holt's got in trouble, we would try to get Oxford, and then have to turn it over to Tejeda. And if it was a clean 8, probably let Oxford go in the 9th. But none of that really held true. So tough. Proud of the team. Like, that's what we just went through this season. 26 new players. What we went through starting last Thursday, sitting there for 6 hours trying to get on a plane that you never get to the airport to even attempt to get on. To bus into a tornado, to go to Pitt, to go to Stetson, to come back here, and for them to come and win the series and win those 2 games convincingly, like the way they played, should overshadow how I feel right now, but you can tell it's not right now. And I didn't want that to tarnish their view of things either. We had guys battle through, and 2 starting pitchers when that was in line like you envisioned it. You had a pretty good entrance to a weekend with those 3 arms, and we've been without them for a while. Now they're coming back, but it's a lot to ask of some of those guys in the bullpen to make the appearances and log some of the innings. It's not as much the inning workload, I think, as the appearances. So proud of what these guys did, and they fought. Charlotte, I've coached in 5-6 different conferences, and this tournament does allow you to breathe a little bit. I mean, you're in the SEC tournament back when I was coaching in that league. That's a double elimination, absolute grinder where you just never know what's coming at you, and it's not real conducive to recovery. SoCon tournament, Conference USA, those things are designed differently, and sometimes it adds layers of work to a team. So the format of this does give you a chance to know when you're playing, and gives the guys an opportunity to at least not feel like they're stressed to the point of physically having to play 7 or 8 games. So that's good, and I think that'll help us. And it is a neat venue. They do a fantastic job of running this event. It's a cool city. So we have that to look forward to. Right now, I could care less about that. I'm just trying to shake off the 2-inning game.
How much will you use Charlotte to get ready for a regional? Like get the pitching staff ready, see who can go, who cannot go. Is it a litmus test at all up there?
I mean, honestly, the way I've approached the season is the first pitch, you start preparing for that. And I've told you guys this, if you're not good the first game of the year, the first weekend of the year, the second weekend of the year, the 14 midweek games that you have, you're not in the conversation that we're in right now. So I just look at it as, number one, when do you play? Which I don't know that yet. You guys may know. So then you have to look at who's available to pitch. When we won the league, I got to decide when we played. That was different. Now you're lining it up to say, I want to do these 2 days, and for a reason of bringing somebody back. But we're not in that position unless we get lucky. It's hard to tell you right now what I want to do with the pitching. But I don't really change how we've approached it from the first time I walked in here to talk to you guys. And I didn't change how I approached it going into that 2-inning game we just played. So this has all been a litmus test for our team and for me and our coaches. So I just approach those games as, can you put the right personnel on the mound to get out of the gate and go get it and see if you can figure out a way to win that first game. That's all. We're not in a position to position ourselves to try to line things up. I don't think it may work out that way, but that's not really the goal for me at the moment. Clearly, the regional and all that is critical. I just don't know if I'm going to have the luxury of sitting back and choosing all of this.
In a perfect scenario, would you getting Cam at least an inning? Is that something that's even possible that could get you? They would get you ready for a regional?
Yeah, he keeps sending me pictures of Mariano Rivera walking out of the bullpen. Like, that sounds great. He's getting there, and you've seen enough of him to know what he's wanting to do right now. But we have to be responsible with how we try to build him up. Just like Whitaker, you're trying to give him a couple innings, and then can we extend that to 2 innings? Can Leiter get out there and throw an inning? And it really doesn't matter what inning. It's just dynamic stuff that can help you in whatever inning you choose. The warm-up process is different when you're relieving versus the only guy that gets a true clean slate is the starter in the preparation. So we'll figure it out. But he's trending in that direction.
You were able to extend Connor a little bit yesterday. Just how encouraging was that out?
I thought his second inning was the best I've seen him since he was down. And the velocity, for whatever that's worth, was really probably better than when he went down. And the slider velocity was good. I think he found better shape to the slider in the second go-around there, the second inning. But it's great. I mean, we all know that follow the program, the more you can get that guy involved in things, the better off you are. So that was very encouraging. Now, where does it go from there? You know, we have to let him do his throwing tomorrow and figure out how he responded to that, and then we'll reset and see where we are.
You still have the postseason left, obviously, but the full workload that Cam and Tibbs put together this season, just how impressive is that, what they did?
You watch guys grow up and hit. Like they hit. They manage the at-bats. We talked about this last year when I would come in, and you saw signs of it with Cam, and Tibbs was, a year further along, but they've learned themselves what they do, approaches, pitch selection, two-strike hitting. They've become more complete hitters, and two of the more complete in college baseball. And there's a lot of good baseball left for those guys. They work really hard. Like if you had gone down there and watched today when it's raining and we're in that cage, and those guys work at it. They work in this weight room. We've tried to upgrade what goes on in the facility in the cage so they have better equipment and better visibility and better atmosphere to work. And then they take that into the game. And that's been the fun thing to watch. Just their development, their mental development and their physical maturity with what they're doing. And they're special athletes, and they've turned into special hitters. And they've also learned how to play their positions pretty high level.